Where do we go from there? Welcome back, everyone. Jack Reeve, Talk Norwich City here, back to preview today's latest defeat in a seemingly endless pattern of defeats. Norwich have lost 3-0 to Liverpool this evening in the Carabao Cup. As always, these previews and match reviews brought to you by OneFootball. They are still the best app to download. It's completely free. Unfortunately, when you go on to OneFootball nowadays and click on Norwich City, there's not much good stuff to look at. The statistics, the news, and everything is pretty grim reading at the moment. But still, it's well worth a download. You can download it. The link is in the description. I've kind of gone like some weird lighting tonight, like half my face dark and half light. I'm not sure if that's kind of like showing the light and shade of tonight's performance. Let's start with the team selection then. A different formation for Norwich City tonight. Daniel Farke opting for 3 at the back or 5 at the back, depending on how you want to play it. 3 centre-backs and 2 wing-backs. Omobamidele coming in, Bali Mumba coming in, Dimitri Giannoulis coming in, Ben Gibson coming in. A whole host of changes. So the formation, I think most people were relatively happy about. I'm still not fully convinced. I just don't know why we're not playing the 4-2-3-1. It's worked wonders for Daniel Farke ever since he's been at Norwich City, and we've given it up for some strange reason. I'm never a massive fan of 5 at the back. I think that having 3 centre-backs often... I think it's quite often easy for the centre-backs to kind of pass over responsibility, and I think we saw that tonight with mix-ups between Hanley and Gibson and Omobamidele. I thought they were all very poor tonight. I wouldn't have made as many changes as we did. I think, look, I get that the Cup isn't the priority, but this was a really important game for Norwich City tonight. I think it was a good opportunity. We're going up against essentially a Liverpool, third team? They had a 16-year-old on the pitch. What was he born in, like 2004 or something stupid? And we still couldn't beat them. I think for me, you play Aarons and you play Rashica and you play Sargent and you play Pukki from the start. For me, it's almost an unchanged 11 from Saturday. And you go, look, you've had an absolute shocker against Watford. Go out there and prove yourselves tonight ahead of the Everton game on Saturday. I don't know what positives there are to take from tonight. It was a very, very sloppy opening goal. Literally the disaster start, conceding after 4 minutes. It's a relatively simple corner chucked into the box. Gilmour loses his man, the man being Minamino. Minamino then gets past Hanley, and it's a relatively simple finish past Angus Gunn. And I guess from that point on, Norwich kind of got themselves back into it. We had a few good opportunities. I thought Christos Jolis was the brightest spark. And then just before half-time, you get a penalty and you're like, brilliant. Just before half-time, we'd had a good 10-minute spell. When I say a good spell, I mean the standards are incredibly low. But we looked brighter. There was a few nice counter-attacks. And I think the shape tonight did allow us to get forwards slightly better. We were able to stretch Liverpool with them wing-backs. And Giannoulis does well to get himself in front of the defender, wins a penalty. And I must admit, considering how pessimistic I've been about Norwich City this season, I did think Christos Jolis was slightly unlucky with the penalty. 90% of the time, if you hit it down the middle, it goes in. And Kelleher does... It's a decent save, actually, because he dives away from it and he kind of catches I think it's his trailing foot to keep it out. And then it's a brilliant block from... I can't even remember who the block was from. Gomez, I think, off of Adam Eder. So you go into the break 1-0 down, although we'd created chances, and it's like, okay, we're in this game. We had a couple of chances. I'd still say Liverpool had the better of it, and they deserve to be in at the break 1-0. But you're in the game, and once again, Norwich City just looks so fragile and so toothless, and that's the worry at the moment, because there have been spells this season where Norwich, you look at them and you go, there is something in this for you. And again, there was tonight. And it's just the softest second goal. I mean, it is a delightful cross from Tsimikas out on the left-hand side, but Grant Hanley continually losing his man this season, and it is worrying now, because Grant Hanley was playing so well last season and so well for Scotland during the Euros, and he's just making the most simple errors on a regular basis. And if he's dropped for Everton, I wouldn't be at all surprised. Gibson is to blame as well. I mean, the fact that you've got 3 tall centre-backs on the pitch and Origi finds that much space in a really key moment in the game is just unforgivable. I mean, all 3, Omobamidele, Hanley and Gibson, all poor tonight. I think Hanley the worst of the bunch. And I really don't want to kind of single out players, but it's really difficult not to when they are just making the most sloppy of issues over and over again. Like, if it was a one-off, you could kind of forgive them, but there's been so many individual errors from our defensive line this season, and it's not acceptable if we want to stay in this division. And then the third goal, again, is a complete catalogue of errors. Angus Gunn just doesn't look like he wants to save it. Hanley loses his man. Omobamidele just kind of crumbles to the floor, and it was a real embarrassment. And it felt like an opportunity for Norwich this evening to just put on a display, and we maybe did for like 20 minutes, but we're against a Liverpool side who has 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, like Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to get back to fitness. Like, it was a really weak Liverpool side tonight. And, you know, I'd read, I think it was 6 of the last 7 times Liverpool have gone up against a Premier League side in the League Cup, they've lost. And they've just routinely got past a Norwich side. And yes, I know there were changes made, but like, a lot of them players tonight for Norwich would have been hoping to get into the side for Saturday. And if I was Daniel Farke, I'm looking at all of them in the eyes and I'm like, what have you done to warrant a Premier League start? Gilmour was okay. Like, I think you can tell that there's quality about Gilmour, but I still haven't seen the best of him. Jollis was bright, but missed a penalty and missed a couple of good chances. Leigh-Malou missed an absolute glorious chance just after half time. I thought the whole defensive line was poor. Giannoulis was okay. Like, it's just, I'm not seeing anything to get excited about. I'm really not. And that's so disappointing, because it felt like we had a solid team and the system was there. And I can't even say we've got a style of football now. Like, what is our style? What is our formation? I don't know. I don't think 5 at the back works. The formation that we've seen in the Premier League certainly doesn't work. And I haven't heard a good explanation as to why we've seemingly sacked off a 4-2-3-1. Like, we've got the players to fit the system. Maybe it's because we're trying to kind of, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm completely lost with it all. And look, Daniel Farke clearly is at a real wit's end here. And I feel for him slightly, although we've been here before, and he just makes the same mistakes over and over again, and he can't get his team back into games from losing positions, and that's a real issue. But you have to look at the players and just think, what are you doing? Like, such opportunity tonight, and oh man, just nothing to get excited about. And I genuinely don't think I'm being pessimistic. I don't want to single players out, but when you're trying to analyse a game and the same players are making the same issues over and over again, there's a midfielder who I'm not even going to mention, and I didn't actually think he was that bad tonight, but I know people will say you're singling him out. Look, I'm not trying to, but I'm not seeing any Premier League quality from anyone at the moment. None of the new signings, none of the legacy players. I'm not seeing Premier League quality from our head coach. And I've tried endlessly to defend this team from pundits and journalists and neutrals who keep on saying to me and the general Norwich City community that this team is the laughingstock of the Premier League, and I'm trying to defend against that argument, but I've got no argument left to give anymore. At this current moment in time, Norwich City are the Premier League laughingstocks, and I don't know how it changes, but it needs to change. Otherwise, I don't know where our next point is coming from. And that may sound dramatic, but I have no evidence to base any other opinion off. There we go. Norwich City are out of the Carabao Cup. I guess that's the positive. We're not in the Cup. I don't know. Goodison Park on Saturday. I'm not going. I hope some of you are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.